welcome to the Prospered Soul. I'm your host, Lana McMurray, and today I've got 3 easy to implement action steps you can take in the next 30 days that will increase your confidence in yourself and make you better at trusting your judgment and yourself. Tip number 1, identify why you people please. I used to think the reason I people please was because of fear. The fear of man, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being abandoned. But after spending a lot of money that I didn't actually have on different programs and products to end this fear of man or fear of rejection and wasting countless hours, months, years. Well, I really don't think there's a waste, but let's just shortcut it. Some of these things didn't work. I only ended up with like a minimum of success. It's true, fear was certainly part of the problem, absolutely, but it wasn't the source. It was not the source of my problem. It wasn't until I uncovered that it was how I used my choice. CHOICE, choice. It was how I used my choice. That's when things began to turn around quickly for me, when I uncovered how I was using my choice. Let me explain. After I worked on these beliefs and these fears and these underlying things that I thought were the root cause of the problems, I really discovered the heart of my people pleasing was that I was unable to let people be uncomfortable with themselves. It was my inability, it was my ability to sense as an empath, my ability to sense when someone was uncomfortable, and I call it the uncomfortableness in people, and my hesitation to let them experience this uncomfortableness that was driving me to people please. That's why I couldn't get anything else to work. I didn't want them to feel bad. I knew I could handle a reproof or a slight or a disrespect or whatever. I can get over it and be okay. Actually, I'm very resilient. And I could sense that it would hurt them. But you know what? That it would be uncomfortable for me to stand my ground. I didn't want to bring pain upon anyone. So I'd give in because I knew I'd be okay. But that resilience worked against me after all, eventually. What I had to change was let them deal with their uncomfortable feelings, their uncomfortable thoughts themselves. And I had to be okay with that. I wasn't responsible for them. I was responsible for me. So even though maybe they were asking me something I could easily do, or they needed something I could easily give, or whether it was hard or easy or whatever, I was in no way obligated to get involved. And I didn't have to feel guilty about that. So it came down to seeing that there wasn't really anything wrong with me to begin with. I was just being a naturally nice person, and that's never a bad thing. Perfect segue to step number 2. Tip number 2. Well, step number 2. Actually, that was step 1. And here's step number 2. Realize there's nothing wrong with you. Just because you are a nice person naturally, that's okay. It is perfectly fine for you also to want to help. But trying to stop feeling of caring about someone is very difficult because it's not innate within you not to care. Instead, learn how to be nice and stay true to yourself at the same time. This is what's going to maintain your sanity and your happiness. You see, you're going to actually have to clear this problem away that you're having by doing it afraid, by saying no afraid, by not answering right away afraid. Trying to change yourself first so that you don't care and it doesn't bother you might not ever work. So what you can do is you can do what you need to do while you're afraid. And let's get on to step number 3, where is just do it. The only thing you're going to figure, the way you're going to figure this out is by standing within your own power and risking the anger from them. And it comes down to a moment by moment decision, because of course when we're sitting here and we're talking about hypotheticals, we can be like, oh, I'm going to say no the next time, or I'm not going to be as easy to be, the first one to raise my hand and vouch to help, and I don't know, whatever it is that's been bothering you, that you've been doing, that you really don't want to do, that you wish you regret or you want to say no to. The only way you're going to figure out how to stop doing that with any person is for you to just do it. That instinct, whatever that is, it's whatever it is that you want to say, just do it. And put at risk someone getting angry with you, because they are. They might not even talk to you anymore, and it might change your relationship. That's a sign. The relationship shouldn't be that fragile. Be willing to be called names. Be willing to be misjudged. Be willing to be talked behind your back and left out and uninvited. Be willing to get abandoned or rejected or left out. There's a capability gap that you're going to have to cross. You don't know the answer yet. You don't know what that capability is for you to resolve this. So there's a capability gap. They also know and sense your fear or your uncomfortableness as well. You see, they sense uncomfortableness within you. It's not just empaths, but people can pick up what you're putting down, and they're perfectly fine with you carrying on a burden and being uncomfortable while you're doing it. You gotta let them run their own world, handle their internal emotions and their thoughts. You're not going to be able to buy your way out of this. You can't avoid it. So, right now, when you don't know what is going to happen, if you're going to have to act to find out. What you are going to find out is the thing that you are afraid of. The thing that you feared does not come upon you. not like you thought it was. It's not going to be as bad as you thought. And if it even turns out to be better than you thought, you're going to realize that emotionally and spiritually, it's not as bad as you thought. You know, it's because it's really not, it's somebody else overreacting or acting or doing something. When you honor yourself and you listen to yourself and you do what is a yes for you, you're going to feel good. No matter what, you're going to feel good. In the end, it's going to, and that feel good is going to override any, pain that you might have gained from not being that pleaser. There's going to be peace. There's going to be wholeness. There's going to be a security within you. There's going to be a trust. There's going to be a strength. There's going to be growth, confidence. You're going to be developing growth mindset. So much good is coming from this. And it never gets as bad as you imagine. Not when you trust yourself, because you're stepping out in faith. Now, if you fold and you give in, then you've trusted the fear and you're not walking in faith. And yeah, it could get as bad as you imagine. But when you stand up and you take action and you walk in faith and you know that you are doing a loving thing because you're loving yourself, which you've got to love yourself first to be a really good friend, you're going to feel better. And let me tell you the best part. You gain respect. You gain their respect. The darndest thing happens. The opposite of what you thought. They respect you more. And you get treated better and held in higher regard. So these 3 steps will increase your internal self-worth. They will absolutely cause you to trust yourself more and to be able to hear yourself better and to be able to have built that muscle to do it again and then again. And after you just done this for 30 days, you'll know how to check in with yourself and take this beyond the 30 days. See, it's just pretty cut and dry, very practical. And believe me, when I enrolled and I applied so many different principles, and I felt like the runaround. When I just started just to do it, that's when I started to learn, wait a minute, that was never anything I was afraid of. I didn't want them to feel bad. And I was able to get myself to the point. I really don't like fluff. I like fluff when it comes to romantic movies and stuff like that. But when it comes down to producing results, I don't like fluff. I like practical, get to the point stuff. So let me go over those steps again. Identify why you people please. Realize that there's nothing wrong with you and just do it. You got that? It's that simple. And if you need to talk about, and that's what I have these free strategy sessions for, because I have different tips and techniques that I put out there on this podcast or on a YouTube video or on an Instagram reel. And if there's something that strikes your fancy and you need some help with, let's jump on a strategy call. That clarity can help you months and months down the road. And it does not have to take 30, 45, an hour. When you get clarity, it can happen within 15 minutes. So I do have strategy sessions open right now. If you're listening to this years later, I might not, but at this moment I do. you would like to work together, I do have one-on-one coaching packages and other great things, free resources. So take a look at my description or caption box, or Spotify and Amazon and iTunes all has their own name, but in the box that has links, that's the one. You can get my information there. Okay, well, enjoy what you get from taking these steps and let me know how it works out for you. Thank you for listening.